Welcome. This is my 2025-2026 RA application. Hello, my name is Ibrahim Danazumi. I'm a sophomore at the University of Connecticut. Some fun facts about me. I am one of 9 kids. I enjoy playing basketball and football, and I love trying new foods. The reason I'm applying for the RA position is because I enjoy my residents. I enjoyed building a community with all of them. They're very nice. They're very welcoming, and I love just hanging out with them, kind of like my new friends. So yeah. Some skills I learned along the way. My first year, I was very appreciative of the opportunity to build a community. Um, with my residents, we were able to rely on each other. I was able to help a lot of my residents make new friends through certain events, like the cup pong game night we had, where we had Chick-fil-A catered, or even the mental health talks we have, where we just paint pumpkins and talk about life. Um, this position really taught me a lot about leadership. Um, Especially as an RA, you're the first source of help. You're the first person people reach for help. So you have to be on top of everything. Um, with me as an RA, I encountered a lot of stuff, especially in a brand new building like CT Hall. Being the main source of contact during duty shifts and my floor, I was able to gain great leadership experience and a lot of great communication skills. Um, and also contributing to campus culture. I'm really passionate about creating a campus that values diversity and inclusivity, especially as a Black African American. I want to plan events that bring people together and celebrate our differences and our different backgrounds. My goal is to encourage students to get involved and help build a welcoming, memorable community for everyone. Um, so for my growth, how I want to evolve and get better as an RA, I want to be better at handling conflicts. I've already had practice dealing with different situations at CT Hall, whether it's like roommate conflict or even like certain situations where I have to communicate with people. I just got to get better at that. Just handling situations, being able to monitor them. Something I also want to grow on is improving my crisis management techniques. Um, so I've learned how to stay calm and help others, but I know I'll face more serious situations. I want to get better at staying composed and making smart decisions and supporting residents during tough times. Building these skills will help me also handle like challenges with more like confidence. There's a lot of times where like people tell you some serious stuff and a lot of scary stuff happen too, like somebody passes out or you have to deal with like serious situations, and it's very important to stay composed and calm during those situations. If not, you're not going to get anything handled. um, for community empowerment strategies, next year I want to find ways to help residents feel like more involved in our community. I had a lot of residents like come to me. They're comfortable coming to me, talking to me whenever they need something. Hey, Abe, like you got this, you have that. Do you know how to do this? And it means a lot. But there's also the residents that stay in their rooms and they don't really like coming out. So I want to like help like build more like community opportunities, whether it's like something where like I could host an event where it could be something they like, or something that like gets all of the residents going. I just want everybody to feel involved and welcomed in this community that I built. So yeah. So for mentorship and role modeling for the upcoming RAs, something I would tell them, me personally, I'll give them advice on what I wish I knew as a new RA. I made a lot of mistakes coming into this job, like it was new, and mistakes do happen, but we learn from them. So I'll definitely tell them my mistakes and help them have a fresh start, give them a head start. And I'll give general examples of situations to help them with like their what if questions, and like tell them like, for example, like certain situations that happened when I was an RA, or give them examples of how I handle certain situations. Um, Also, I will use my knowledge from the past experience to help my SRAs. Um, and I would like definitely encourage the new RAs to build a relationship with their SRAs to make the SRAs job easier with communicating with them. Um, so an interaction I had with a resident was it was during freshman move-ins. So I had this like freshman move-in is a very important time because the freshmen they're coming to a whole new environment. They're new to this. They don't know anybody. They're kind of just stranded in an island where they don't know anything or anybody, and they gotta just survive. So as an RA, my RLM board that I made, it was like a SpongeBob board with all the QR codes, and I encouraged them to scan the QR codes and like search for like certain things around campus, like for example the rec or Shaw or like the dean of students to find their help. You know, in case they have any questions, that's where they can go to get help. And you don't understand how much that helped them. That some students will come up to me and like just tell me like, oh, this helped me so much. Your board was so nice. I love how you put the QR codes. It was very helpful. I could just go there. Um, and also, another thing, like for example, the Husky chat agreement or the room pact agreement, where the residents had to like kind of set their boundaries. I did have a situation where a couple residents, they were like the room was, I had to put it at yellow because they had a little conflict. But the main part was they didn't set their boundaries and they didn't fill out the room pact agreement. So I told them, I heavily emphasized you guys should definitely fill out the room pact agreement because this is where you just let down all your boundaries, set your boundaries, and let each other know what you guys expect from each other. And ever since then, they they're friends now. I always see them together. They get along, so that's good. A situation where the protocol wasn't spelled out. So I remember one night I got a call. I was on duty and somebody called saying their roommate was missing. Um, so I I didn't know whether like you know I didn't know whether to enforce the situation or like to escalate the situation or like to wait because I didn't know the time where I had to escalate the situation because you need to there's only a specific time to where you could do certain things when somebody's missing. So I calmly gathered detail from the roommate, such as were they last seen, were there any safety concerns that I should know, and I also called my HD and discussed the next steps. As I was discussing the next steps with the HD asked me to personally, like with the HD phone, call the roommate, see where they're at. When we called the roommate picked up, and I was just like asking the roommate questions. Something I wish I knew was like to be more like to respect the privacy of the roommate. You know, ask the right questions because communication is very important. But later on, the roommate returned home. He returned to his dorm, and everything was handled. And she thanked me for that. But something I wish I knew was like communication. And thank you so much for watching my interview.